when Paul wrote a post last Friday, it's called "Welcome to Surfacegate." He
loved that post, Paul.
He was trying to stay calm up to a point, and then he just kind of lost it. And it was all his months of frustration with the many problems that he and some others have had with their Surface Books and their Surface Pro 4s. And there are many issues that people have had. I have to say, on my Surface Book, I've had intermittent problems with the graphics display driver thing, but I never had a blue screen. Never. I had problems unlocking the screen sometime and getting the tablet to separate. But the only time I ever separated the tablet from the base of the Surface Book was just to show people it could be done. I never used it that way. So I understood his frustration, and he, I think, was expecting Microsoft to do what Apple had done, which with AntennaGate, come out, make a big public acknowledgement that, yes, there have been problems. We acknowledge it. We're going to fix it. But as I said to Paul, they're never going to do that. That's not the way Microsoft does it. Not going to happen.
I believe the way she said it was something like, Paul.
I did say that. I did.
Paul.
Yeah. He's like, no, they're going to come out and I told them what's wrong and they're going to respond. I said, no, that's not the way that works with Microsoft. What they do instead is they go into the support forums and every once in a while get someone not at the highest level, but somebody who's in the support team to say, yeah, we know this is a problem and some people are having an issue and sorry for the small subset of people who are having this problem.
Really? It's just a subset? Really?
But I would be stunned if you see Microsoft put a big gun on stage like Terry or Panos and they say, guys, we know this is a big screw up and we're going to fix it. Yeah. That's just not the way they do it. Not the way.
By the way, what do you think of my theory? I was sort of going through this in my head later, and it occurred to me, if you actually think back to the Apple thing and you really look at what they said, they were very careful to say, this happens to a lot of phones. It's not just us. Right. And in other words, deflecting the blame in a big way, because in other words, it's not the fact that we just put the antenna on the outside of the phone and everyone else knows not to do that. And hilarious, but now it doesn't work. By deflecting the blame, they may have been protecting themselves against class action lawsuits, right?
Yeah.
If they admitted to putting out a defective product, maybe, and again, I'm not a lawyer, I just play one on this podcast. Maybe they we're specifically trying to avoid that, and maybe Microsoft, by not coming out and saying that this is a thing, is the same type of issue.
Yeah, maybe.
Or for the same reason. That's just a thing.
But I will say, and I think you would acknowledge this too, we also do hear from people who say, I'm not having these problems. Right?
That's true.
I mean,
that's true.
There are people who have no problems, or at least say they have no problems.
Well, let me ask the chat room. Let me ask the chat room.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, people on Twitter in the chat room, I'm curious, are you having any of these issues? So the issues include the hot bag thing, when it doesn't really shut off and you put it in your bag and then you open the bag and it's roasting hot. The blue screens, the inability to detach the Surface base. What else? There are
video driver failures.
Video driver issue.
You saw the weird thing where the logon screen wasn't full screen.
Right.
And then it said trying to open camera. I think those are all related to video. And then it kind of fixed itself after a while. The most common experience I've been having is almost daily blue screens, and it reboots. What it does is say, okay, hold on, we're collecting information, reboots, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
So it would be somebody with Surface. I'd be very interested. So just type in the chat room, say Surface Pro 4 or Surface Book. Yep. It's, by the way, not previous one. Surface Pro 4 or Surface Book, yes or no. And I'm just curious. Maybe I don't know how many people have.
I've been testing Surface Pro 4 at night each night this past week, trying to get it to exhibit some of these behaviors, because I hear from Surface Pro 4 users all the time. There's a guy who just reset his machine and now it's blue screening and getting those Intel display driver problems. I never see that on Surface Pro 4, so I don't know how to explain that.
Yeah.
The thing is, I hear from so many people, especially Surface Book. It is just a constant cavalcade of problems. And
Plus,
but it's a good question. Is it everybody? Is it a majority? Right. Is it a tiny but a vocal minority? Is it just podcasters?
Small subset. Whatever.
And we're kind of globalizing it because Paul and I have both had those problems.
I've had it on 2 separate machines.
Yeah.
Remember the first one I got? You said, well, it's a pre-production machine. Maybe that's what it was. And I got a new one. So I have the exact same problems. Microsoft sent out a key that had the retail build of the product on it so you could reset the machine and get what people were really getting in the store. Still does it. You know, I've just never fixed it. It's on, you know, on the machines I've had.
People I'm seeing on Twitter are saying almost everybody video driver. Like that seems to be like the one
culprit there.
And I will say this in a very Attendagate kind of way, that issue is actually not isolated to Surface devices. Other Skylake PCs are seeing that as well.
It's and that's what Microsoft has said. It's a tough computer science problem. That's Skylake.
Well, power management.
Maybe they should get some computer science people in there, and maybe they could solve it. But it seems like it's a Skylake specific issue.
Yep.
Now I've got a guy saying I get blue screens daily. Surface Pro 4.
Me too. Yeah. Oh, Surface Pro 4. Interesting.
And I've reset it twice. Here's somebody saying my whole machine freezes. I had 4 machine freezes yesterday plus video driver. So okay.
The power thing's never been fixed, by the way. It's never been.
Yeah, the power thing hasn't been fixed. Although some people have used that workaround, right, where they change the setting from.
Yep. By the way, I did that. Doesn't solve it. So I did.
Really,
do
it doesn't.
Yeah, I have hibernation on my machine now.
So Digital Man says yes, 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 and yes. But what's interesting, he's on a Surface Pro 4, and then Rob H immediately after says no blue screens, no video driver issues, no issues with detaching, just the heat in the bag problem.
I know, right?
Just that one.
Just the heat in the bag.
Yeah.
It's a pretty. I said this. You'll remember this months ago, maybe weeks ago, certainly, but maybe months ago. You know, it's a sad statement when you buy a brand new $2,800 laptop and you have to shut it down like a computer you bought in 1995 before you travel because you're worried about the thing heating up in your bag and you know, killing all the battery life. And the funny thing is, I heard whenever I said that on the show, someone wrote to me via email and said, you know, I've been doing that as well, but the problem with these devices is the power button's on the outside, so it's in your bag. It hits something, power's on, and it happens anyway. Like,
oh wow, yeah.
Of course it does.
What happened to me?
Mary
I just
Jo
got
Foley,
small.
Are you on a Surface Pro 4?
We're replacing Mary Jo Foley with a go-to assist.
I'm not. What just happened to me?
According to a post on hexus.net, I don't know if these are reliable or not. I do know they have lots of pop-up ads over randomly underlined words like new. There's a new driver available for the Intel chipset featured in the Surface Pro 4 that has not passed through the process necessary to become available via Windows Update. Oh, NeoWin is reporting this. The driver installer file is available from the Intel download site. That won't work either. However, it notes the driver update zip file can be downloaded, extracted, and update for the Intel Iris graphics component applied manually. I'm not recommending that, but that's what some saying. And I just got by the way, a cumulative update, which you probably are already aware of. So.
Yeah, I see there's a cumulative update going out. There's zero information about what's in it, it looks like.
You know, I'm wondering because this almost always, like, I apply the cumulative update, reboot, log in, everything worked great, fast, no problems.
Oh, this isn't going to solve any of these problems, right? You got to.
No, but I'm just wondering if the problem is sitting overnight, like if it's a memory leak or something that doesn't I just rebooted once before
so now
that,
it's fine.
So now everything's okay until tomorrow when I'm going to have a blue screen again.
It would be funny if it was a time bug, wouldn't it? You know.
It might be, and that might be.
We only recognize 23.99 of the hours in the day, and I don't.
Yeah.
It's too bad because these are great computers.
I really want to love it. I want to love it.
I know.
Nice.
Just nailing somebody down to say, can you just give us a general idea, like what's going on? Like, do you even have a time frame for fixing it? And I don't think we're going to get that. Do you? I think they're going to play it safe and just not even give us a quarter or a time frame. Or
how many times have they given a time frame only to have it, not happen? I think they want to avoid that. And that, by the way, that's completely understandable.
Yeah.
Well, I also feel like if they really knew what was wrong, they would
fix it.
They would fix it. And the problem really is they can't give you a time frame if they don't know what's wrong.
Okay. Oh, I see. Well, I mean, they know it's okay. Right. They know the symptoms. I guess maybe they don't. Yeah. Right. Sure. That could be.
RoboCop is the cure, I believe, but I don't think he's available.
Although he was New Silicon too in that first movie. That kind of explains some of the problems.
He blue screened frequently.
Yeah.
Blowing away people in the process.
Yeah.
It's frustrating.
It is.
Yeah.
How long have we had this Surface Book? Like 4 months now, right?
I know.
And it's not really ever worked right, to the point where Mary Jo continues to use somebody else's computer. And
well, plus I'm super cheap and conservative. So if I don't need a new laptop, I'm not going to go out and buy the Surface Book.
Right.
Because my Acer's still working great.
Right.
Yeah. So I can't really say it's because of bugs that I didn't go out and buy one, but I just didn't need it.
But you can't accuse Paul and me of being impatient here. I mean, 4 months. We've actually I recommended it. I gave it a positive review. I gave it a buy recommendation. We've put up with it. We like so many things about this, including the high-res screen, the 3:2 aspect ratio.
By the way, I want to be really clear about this. They fixed these problems, and I still really believe they will fix them with firmware updates. I will absolutely use this thing every single day. I love this machine. It's just really hard because you can't, when you're in a position, I'm not Bob down the street. I write a website and people read it. I can't pretend this doesn't exist. I can't recommend this to people in its current state. That would be, I could just never do that to people, It's hard because you kind of want to say, this is a great thing. And I do believe it's going to be fixed, but I believe in Santa Claus too. I mean, what does that mean? I mean, we'll see what happens. I don't actually believe in Santa Claus, but you know what I'm saying.